Alrighty. Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner Classic Less Known Classics. This is episode number 28, 17, Doubleshot 2711. Those are asking, Nick, when are you going to do something different besides Comic Corners? Well, when I get a chance more stuff to review. I know there's actually a new anime that is actually releasing its first episode today. That's All Last Guys in the World. I may not get to it tonight due to the fact that it's a maybe I might get to that one tonight. Maybe. If it does come out, I might get a chance to review it. Otherwise, though, at that point, I probably won't get a chance to review it Saturday. The main reason why, because I have to go to bed early tonight, because I have to get up at 5 a.m. and go to work. That's simply the reason for it. So, what am I reviewing for this episode? Well, more Superman. Well, basically, here are the 4 comics reviewing for Superman. It's Action Comics number 677 to 682, Superman, Volume 2, Issue 69 to 73. I'm actually skipping 68 because I'll discuss in a minute. Vintage Superman, numbers 491 to 495. And Superman, the Man of Steel, issues 12 to 16. Now, of the 4 of these, basically Superman's the shortest because 68 would be included part of this lineup, but I've already used 68 because I reviewed that in a Deathstroke trade. And these issues are noteworthy for being the issues that come up between Panic in the Sky and Death of Superman. That's what these issues are. It's a period of about 6 months, so let's get started here. Alright, first up we have is Action Comics 677, the very first issue released just after Panic in the Sky. Written by Roger Stern, art by Booch Gooch. Justin Gooch, excuse me. Mostly it focuses on Supergirl. It's a recap of basically how they knew each other over time. It's basically the whole issue is focused on her and her involvement with Lex Luthor Jr. and him saying, "Oh, he's the son," despite the fact he really isn't. Yeah, and there's a little bit of Superman here. It's like the whole issue is focused on Supergirl. They even briefly fight each other. And that's it. Yeah, and then of course we lead into they saved Luthor's brain. Yeah. By the way, they collect this issue part of that trade, but I'm thinking of more issues besides the issues in there. So, next up is basically Superman, the Man of Steel, issue number 12. This one, of course, still done by Louis Simonson, artwork by John Badava. It's basically, it's mostly dealing with the Cerberus stuff in here. Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, deal with Cerberus in here. And the storyline conclusion of Cerberus, it is so gross. Oh my gosh, it is so disgusting of what the heck Cerberus is. Metallo is basically, they find Metallo. Yeah. But then a robot takes Metallo's head. They're like, what? Yeah. More Star Lab stuff here, and then of course we have a creature attacking because it was in the cover, and Superman comes in to save the day. Though the article is a bit consistent with how he's drawn here. And then of course they unveil who Cerberus is in issue of Superman, issue 68. Oh. Excuse me. But I've already used 60 already because that was basically, like I mentioned, it worked. So I go straight to basically issue number. So we're going to Avengers Superman number 491. Because, like I mentioned, we're skipping over 68 because that was in a Deathstroke trade. So, head and your shoulders. That's the name of the thing. So, Cerberus plus metal equals pain. Written by Jared, artwork by Tom Gremmett for this issue. So, we have it where Metallo is like threatening people, like he's the freaking Terminator, but with a shotgun. And that's the issue opens with him basically threatening somebody. And then we have Metallo look like as a robot. Then people that it's like basically the whole issue is like a take on Terminator 2, because Terminator 2 probably just came out. So let's basically play with the fact that Metallo's and his robot form is based upon the Terminator. And he has Superman fight him, of course. And then we unveil what exactly Cerberus is in here. Oh boy. And they beat it, and then of course move over to Action Comics number 698. Excuse me, 78. I'm sorry this might be a lot of issues, but thank you. Yeah. And the issue... Oh, come on. Don't do that. I thought I fixed that problem. Oh, probably because basically that... Alright, there you go. Okay, that's better. So... They haul up Metallo off into custody. We have more Supergirl and Lex Luthor stuff in here. Metallo is basically just mouthing off like usual. We have a guy who's blind. And of course they kind of, real stuff related to Lex in here. They saved his brain. Oh yeah, and by the way, he basically convinced Gretchen Kelly, his physician, that he was actually, that basically Lex Luthor was basically her son. But it's a lie. Yep. And then, of course, the issue continues over in Superman, the Man of Steel, issue 13. That's what we're continuing here with this one. Called Brain Trust. At last, in this issue, Cerberus blows his stack. Yes, we unveil what the heck basically he is in here. What the heck is Cerberus? And it's also with the Sun's Liberty. We'll get back to that. So, yes, this is the issue to find out what the heck Cerberus is. It's a guy. Looks like a robot anyway, so wears a suit. And goes through multiple heads. And these heads are alive. Yes. Cerberus has been killing people and taking their heads. Yeah. And keeps swapping heads. And Superman sees what the heck? There's heads everywhere. And they're all alive. And you have this one face up against armor. And by the way, at one point you have Cerberus basically smashing the heads because he doesn't give a damn. Because he's some stupid creature. Superman's no, stop. These heads are still alive. And he's like, nope, don't freaking care. I just want to stop you. And of course, what Perry White had to do with that in there. It's a minor subplot, and of course, the Cerberus thing. Yeah, and Superman just fights him, and of course, he sends him off. Then he opens up a door. Looks like Cerberus is dying. And then Superman just lands someplace. Yep. And it continues over in Superman number 69. For Life for Liberty. The story's issue is called Killing Some Business. And it's a subplot here involving the Sons of Liberty. Yeah, where, get this, Pete Ross is accused of murder. And despite the fact that, he was coerced in doing some actions for Sons of Liberty, who in this percent of this group is a terrorist group. And get this, the judge in his trial is with the Sons of Liberty. And basically, because Pete Ross has said at this point in time, let's just basically throw away the key for no reason. Yeah, and that's your plot for basically these issues. Of course, there's something here in Age of Liberty. Pete Ross is innocent. Of course, Superman's going to help him find a way. And of course, then we have Agent Liberty gets sort of involved. Yeah, that's when he finds that the judge basically, he's like, yeah. And the judge is basically in on it. Yeah, the judge is basically like on the take for the Sons of Liberty. And then, of course, we continue on to issue number Adventures of Superman number 682. Civil War. Agent Liberty goes bad? Yep. Yeah, because of the fact this one guy shut up a basic courtroom, and Pete Ross points out, though, the fact this judge is in on the whole Sons of Liberty. In fact, he's actually framed for crimes. Yeah. Related to the Sons of Liberty. Which, those of you who don't know what the heck Sons of Liberty is, that was a real-life rebel group from the 18th century who basically helped one group of people instigate the American Revolution. And the way that this interpretation, this version is that they're a terrorist group. Like about secret society stuff, it's kind of bizarre. Yes. And I think for this issue here, they pretty much in a way end the whole Sons of Liberty thing with this very issue. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with this issue here, they're done. Completely done. Yes. Though this story kind of be officially wrapped up with an issue of Showcase, but I would say basically like the best way to describe it is at this point anyways that those are basically put in there briefly revived for a Showcase book and then they're done. And Superman basically finds a way, and he actually clears Pete Ross of charges, and the judge is basically killed, and, well, they have Angel right the Sunset, basically, to deal with any remnants of the Sons of Liberty. Yeah, it's like, basically, like, they created them just to get rid of them. Yeah, it's like they were... Yeah, they're not a very good group. And then... that kind of ends the story for now, but it gets picked up a Showcase book. And then we continue over in Action Comics number 679. And by the way, we're getting very close to getting done here, by the way. Yeah. Basically, Superman has got 3 issues left. Basically, everything's got 3 issues left. We're basically about halfway through. And then we have, we continue with Capital with the issue called Shell Shocked. Yeah, it's basically, there's a woman named Shell Shock. And the whole thing with this character is, she's a character from the pages of Hawk and Dove. Yes. They have appeared here for 1 issue, after she just previously appeared over in Hawk and Dove. I think this issue came out, what was it, 91, I think it was? No, 92. Because after this 1 issue, Shell Shock is never seen again until Infinite Crisis number 3 in 2006. Yep, that's the next time we see here. It's basically like, okay, let's say Ryder's going to wrap up a loose end from Hawk and Dove because the book was getting canceled. So, the whole thing is Superman is looking for this Shell Shock woman. And of course, there's stuff here with Lex, so he's hanging out with Supergirl, and also with this Japanese woman here. It's basically it's a nice standalone issue. Though yes, the story does get connected in another book. Yeah, in case you're curious though, like, okay, so it's a nice standalone issue. Moving on to Superman, the Man of Steel, number 14. which is going to be the third to last issue discussed for Superman and Man of Steel for now. Or it's basically this issue and an issue of Superman issue 70. It's a two-part team-up where he teams up with Robin. Yep. Yeah, they're here basically to take on freaking vampires. Why not? Yeah, Louis Simon says the Man of Steel issue, and I think the Dan Turkis issue, for this Superman issue, I think it's done by Jerry Woodway. It's Dan Jurgens. Yep. And we continue over to Adventure Superman number 493 with this story here. And of course, Robin is around the story. Yeah, because now we start the Blaze Scientist War. Yes, the storyline starts here, or it's basically Superman dealing with Blaze. And it starts in part 1 is 493 Adventure Superman. Part 2 is Payments Due from Adventures Action Comics 680. It's a really odd story arc for what it is. And we continue over to Man of Steel 15. And then it's Superman 71. And then we move over to Adventure Superman 94, which, yeah, by the way, Superman 71 that kind of wraps up that story with that Blaze War. It's basically all ends with that one. And then basically we have it where 494's debut of a brand new character named Cosmet. It's some cosmic being, otherwise known as Strange Visitor. This character would actually just be a sort of a recurring character in Superman right after this. Yes. Not much per se, but... And then over to Action Comics from 681, where it's basically Superman take on Rampage. Also, Batman, here's some photograph of this issue. And apparently, like, somehow Maggie so you can remember the debut of Copperhead. Well, not Copperhead, basically Helgamite. Yes, this issue is referenced in there. Yes, apparently this issue confirms Rainbow 180, which doesn't feature Superman at all. It makes the thing kind of canon, somehow. And then we have a two-part story that kind of end this, called Crisis at Hand, starting with Superman, Man of Steel number 16, and it continues over in Superman 72. Mostly put, this is sort of a retelling of a story from the Action Comics, where this whole two-part deals with domestic abuse. That's basically what this is, and it's a good story. I do gotta admit, the writers do a great job with it. It's basically Louis Simon's Dan Jurgens is just doing a really good job. And then move on to something more really cool. We have Avengers Superman 495, where it's basically Superman team with the Forever People. Oh yeah, definitely. I thought this was a really cool issue. And we continue over with Superman Action Comics 682, where we debut a new character named High Tech. Just basically, she's an assassin to try to kill Superman. And she doesn't really appear alive after this issue. Not really. And then and that's pretty much it. Because basically next comes Superman 17, which starts up the Death of Superman stuff. Pretty good issues here. I'd say probably the weakest issues in here are probably the Blaze Wars. I'd say the strongest basically message issues are that two-part with domestic abuse. Superman Steel 14 and that, and basically Superman 17 is basically just a fun team with Robin for a quick two-parter. But good stuff here. Give the issues roughly a 9 out of 10. So that's pretty much a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do the like button. Next up, another Comic Corner. Okay? Next video. Bye.